Hey guys, YouTuber Nerd here. Alright, and I told you guys before how there was something that I did have planned for my videos. It was due to like a big movie that was coming out. And of course what that is of course the new Godzilla versus Kong movie that's officially coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow. And so yeah, of course like this is really like just one of the like really big like hyped up movies. Like people have really been like anticipating this for quite a while now. I mean, even before like this whole MonsterVerse started, people have really just been wanting to see like a Godzilla King Kong crossover for quite some time. At least like an American version. Like there was of course like the Japanese movie from all those years ago, but people have really been clamoring for like an American version of the movie. And yeah, when we are finally getting that, it's officially coming out tomorrow. It's being released in theaters, and of course, it is also available on HBO Max. Yeah, this is really a movie that I really feel that people really should go see it in the theaters because just this movie is just like so hyped up and just it's been like anticipated for like such a long time now, and just like how big this movie is, regardless of like the quality of the film. I really do feel like this is a film that really should be seen in the theater. This is a film that really is meant for that theater experience. So I really do feel that people really should go see this movie in the theater, not just watch it at home on HBO Max. Because regardless of like the quality of the film is not really going to change. Just seeing this like actually in theaters, is just really going to make it like feel like just so much bigger. So I really do feel that like people really should go see this movie in the theater. Yeah. But with that film like coming out tomorrow, I decided what I would do is I would like go back and I would talk about like the other three films from this monster verse and really like then just have it like lead up to me going to see Kong Skull or Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah, because I am, of course, planning to go see that movie. But yeah, I figured that I really just go back and take a look at the other three films of the MonsterVerse, and I would just like review them, and then lead up to me actually making a video talking about what I thought about the Godzilla vs Kong film. And so yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be uh making reviews for like the other three films of the some MonsterVerse with the two Godzilla films and Kong Skull Island. So yeah, and then I will go see the Godzilla vs Kong film, and then I will make a video giving my thoughts on that film and how I really feel it turned out. Yeah, and so yeah, so for the next three videos I'm making are going to be a reviews for the other three MonsterVerse films. All right, and so yeah, and to start off these reviews, this is going to be a review for the 2014 Godzilla movie. So yeah, so when this film was announced, it really did seem to have like a lot of hype surrounding it because of course, like just throughout the years, Godzilla has really just become like a part of pop culture. Like Godzilla is really just like one of the one of the biggest and most popular movie characters of all time. And yeah, and of course, like Godzilla is just like extremely popular in Japan. Like, yeah, Japan like just had like a whole bunch of Godzilla movies that have come out ever since the 1950s. And yeah, and they've just had like a whole bunch of Godzilla movies, including like that the King Kong versus Godzilla movie, Son of Godzilla, and just a whole bunch of like Godzilla versus movies, like Godzilla versus Megalon, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. So ever since like the 1950s, like Japan has just like really put out like just a whole bunch of Godzilla movies. Yeah, and there have been like some of the Japan Godzilla movies that have kind of like been released in America as like Americanized, and they've just like gone through some edits and stuff. Yeah, so there has been like Godzilla movies. He's from Japan that have also like gotten an American release. Yeah, me personally, I really was never like really like that big into Godzilla. Like just Godzilla really just wasn't my type of character. Like like just what he did, like it just really wasn't something that really did interest me a lot when I was a kid, and I've just really never really been that interested in like the Godzilla character that much ever, really. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, there were a lot of people that really did like there were a lot of kids that really just love Godzilla. Like they have like all the Godzilla toys and all that. So yeah, Godzilla has really like just become a real cultural icon on worldwide, basically. Yeah, but of course, like as far as like American versions of Godzilla goes, yeah, there really hasn't been that very good of a track record because, as yeah, of course, like in 1998 we had that awful Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick. Everybody has really just complained about that and just like hated on it, saying that it's horrible and just yeah, it's a really bad interpretation of Godzilla. And yeah, it's like the filmmakers of that film, like they were like thinking way too much of Jurassic Park. Like they were really making it seem like Godzilla was like a T Rex, and that's not what he is at all. So yeah, so that was just a really bad adaptation of Godzilla. So yeah, and I've seen like, well, yeah, I've heard a lot of people like say that like like that's really like kind of like what moved people on Godzilla. How like people really didn't keep up with their interest in Godzilla after that film. So yeah, so Godzilla was like kind of like was pretty dormant in the U.S. for quite a while after that. Yeah, but then yeah, when this film got announced and like with the trailers coming out, like people were excited for it. Like there was just like a lot of hype surrounding this film. It really seemed like we were finally going to get like the true American Godzilla film. Yeah, like due to me like not really being like that interested in Godzilla, I didn't really like have really any desire to go see this movie when it was first released. So yeah, I didn't see this film when it came out in the theater. Yeah, but yeah, when this film finally did come out and people did finally go see it, people kind of like did like have quite the number of things to say about this film. Like it received kind of like a mixed reaction from people. Like some people liked it and some people didn't. So yeah, it just received like kind of like a very mixed reaction from people. I mean, there were some people that like did say like they really didn't like this film, and I really do understand why they didn't. Yeah, and there are also people that do say that it is a good film, which I mean, depending on what you're looking for in this film, if you can like kind of put up with the story that the film does have, I mean, there is like some enjoyment to be had with the film. So yeah, it kind of is like just is a film where you either love it or you hate it. So yeah, it is, and yeah, in both the ways, these are understandable. uh, Me personally, after watching this film, um, I gotta say, really just it's really not a film that I really was that impressed by, to be honest. Yeah, just this film, like just when you think of Godzilla, like, is this really the kind of story that you're really looking for? I mean, just yeah, because just really just watching this film for a good chunk of it, it just seemed like this wasn't even a Godzilla movie at all. Like, just a lot of the focus is is in this film is really like really on the human characters in the film and not really Godzilla himself. Well, like just yeah, just with Godzilla, just despite the fact that the film is called Godzilla, it just really seems like there's really not enough of Godzilla himself in this film. Like they just spend like a whole lot of time in this film, really just like building up the appearance of Godzilla, but quite honestly, it just really takes too long to get to it, and it just seems like a really big cock tease because it just seems like there's like a lot of times in this film where it seems like they are finally going to show Godzilla and they don't. It just seems like a really big cock tease and stuff. Yeah, and even like when Godzilla does come on screen, just like when you do see like Godzilla himself on screen, it is like really awesome to see. Like this is, I've heard some people say this is really just like the best uh, um, design of Godzilla ever, and it just really is his best look of all time. And yeah, I will give it that. Like they really did make Godzilla look really good for this film. Like in the old Japanese films, like you can see that it's clearly just like someone in a suit and stuff. But here, like they actually did like CG Godzilla, and they made him like just a huge monster. So yeah, they did do a good job of with Godzilla's design in the film. Yeah, but the main problem with it is just like there's really like not enough of Godzilla shown in the film. Like I said, like uh, most of this film is really just like with the human characters. Like it really is just like set around them, and just really like most of this film is really just like about like a bunch of like scientists and like the military force and stuff trying to find Godzilla and stuff, and also take out like the other monsters that are featured in this film as well. Well, so yeah, so it just really does seem like we're watching like a film that's not even a Godzilla film at all for, for most of it. Most of it. So yeah, so that is really like a real big drawback to the film, and I really do feel like that's really like the main reason why there are like a lot of people that really don't like it is because as for a movie called Godzilla, it, there's a real lack of Godzilla in the movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Like this film, it is definitely like much better than the 1998 movie. But like, just when you like think of like Godzilla, and just when you just really know like how much like how iconic Godzilla really is, just you're really expecting like to see like a lot more than what this film gave us. So yeah, so it's really like it really just does feel like kind of like a wasted opportunity because I mean how great would it have been to see like a movie where like like it really is like set around Godzilla where he's just like terrorizing the city or and stuff like that. And then like he actually does like fight like monster like another monster in the film. Like we do get like the fight with the other monsters. There's around like the last 30 minutes or so of the film. But I mean, it just really is doesn't really like come off that well when you see that we really haven't really gotten like a whole lot of Godzilla in the film at all. So it's really just like you don't really like have that huge connection with Godzilla when you don't really see all that much of him in the film. So yeah, so it just is really hard to really get invested into it when you don't even really see the title character a whole lot and stuff. So yeah, I mean, like I said, when it actually does show Godzilla on screen, it is like really awesome to see. Like I've heard some people like saying that just that did see it in the theater, just it really was just like a real surreal moment when and they saw it in the theater and it actually had the reveal of Godzilla and just with his like iconic roar. Like I've heard like people who did see it in the theater say that was just a huge surreal moment and really one of the best theater experiences of all time and stuff. Yeah, yeah. So it does at least give that to the moviegoers, but just uh, the rest of well, a good chunk of the film is really just not really what people want to see in a Godzilla film. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I just really don't know like how else I can really put it. So I mean, like I said, it's not terrible, but just it really is just like just feels like a totally wasted opportunity for a Godzilla movie. So yeah. So yeah, so I've kind of like gone on about that. Let me just like talk a little bit more about like the film itself. All right. So the setup for this film, it is like it's not really like a remake of like the original Godzilla story where like Godzilla's first discovered. The film is actually like kind of like the setup of the film is kind of a similar to like how that 1998 Godzilla cartoon. You remember like the Godzilla cartoon that was like on Fox Kids following the 1998 movie? How like that cartoon was like a continuation from the 1998 movie. This film is like kind of similar in setup like that because this film like is kind of like a set like as a sort of like a continuation after the events of like the original Godzilla film from the 50s. Like it does acknowledge like those events did happen, and this is just like set like all these years later. later. So yeah, so it really is like kind of like a continuation from that, and how they're like really trying to like find Godzilla in the sea and stuff. So yeah, so at least like they were trying to really be creative with the film and not really like tell the original story again, and just like kind of have it be like where those events did happen, and now they're this is just like a continuation story. All right, so yeah, so they did at least like give us another take on a Godzilla story than the rather than just retell the original again. So yeah, so yeah, so people may want to like watch the original Godzilla film before they see this one if they really like want to know like like all that has like happened and what's really going on and how they know all this stuff about Godzilla and such. Yeah, I haven't really watched any of the like Japanese Godzilla movies, so yeah, so I kind of so I did like go into this film kind of like with a with like no context about like oh what they were really doing, or like how they really know about Godzilla and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, so yeah, so this may be a film where you may not want to watch until you have seen the original and then come into it, so you are like really caught up on what has gone on and stuff. So yeah, and yeah, and what it really is about is how there are scientists that are like trying to track down Godzilla, and after like a lab in Japan and ends up like having a an experiment or something gone wrong. And then like one of the science when one of like the son of like somebody that worked at that lab was now like had a family of his own, but yeah, his father was still like trying to really discover some more about the data of Godzilla and all the research that he had gone on before. And then yeah, then like his dad and the dad and the son then like tried to find it, but then and they eventually do discover this insect-like creature, and it ends up like causing a scene, and the dad is destroyed, and then yeah, and the son then is pretty much like trying to like then find his way home to get back to his family, but then it's shown that like he's like caught up in like the crossfire between the Godzilla and the other monsters in the film. Yeah, and most of this film, really, what it is like consists of is just like I said, like there's really not a whole lot of Godzilla in the film. Most of the film is really just like the scientists and the soldiers and all these people really just talking about like Godzilla and how they're gonna get him and stuff. And just it's really not that interesting. Like as I was watching this film, I just felt like kind of bored a lot of the times, just like sitting down and just listening to these guys talk. Like he's like I was just like sitting there just saying, okay, where's Godzilla? Like the film is called Godzilla. Can we actually see Godzilla? And it just really seemed, and yeah, and then you're just like sitting there, and and then you do like kind of like eventually just blank out, like, okay, come on, where is Godzilla? Yeah, and just yeah, and the stuff with like the human characters and stuff, it's really is just like not that interesting. Right? And you figure that it would be interesting because the film it does actually have like a pretty decent cast. It has like Aaron Taylor Johnson, Vincent Elizabeth Olsen, Sally Hawkins, Bryan Cranston, instance, and so yeah, so it does like have an overall a relatively good cast. So wouldn't you think that they would have like overall good performances and they would get you interested? But they just don't. I mean, it's like this film was really trying to be Jaws. It was really trying to tell the story in the same way Jaws told it, where like you just have Chief Brody, Hooper, and Quint on the boat, and they're just like trying to track down the shark. But they are at least interesting characters, and it has a very interesting story that like you are at least invested in them, and it's not just like all that you just want to see the shark arc. Yeah, but here just the characters really are just like they're just not interesting, and they really don't get you invested like that. And you really just are saying, okay, where's Godzilla? So yeah, so that's just like really unfortunate that just was, yeah, I mean, just you don't even see Godzilla for a lot of the time, and you're just like watching these boring characters on screen. It really does kind of get me like thinking about like the like a Peter Jackson King Kong. How like for the first hour or so of the film, it's just like you're stuck on the boat, just like look at like just watching all these like people on the boat, and it's just like, okay, where's the King Kong himself? Yeah, yeah, it just really takes like too long to really get to the monster, and that's the case here too. So, yeah, so so obviously the film it does really have like its flaws. Like it's just yeah, just the characters really are not interesting. A huge lacking of Godzilla in the film and stuff, and just yeah, and it just feels like you're watching like a totally different movie than Godzilla. So yeah, it does like have its flaws, but like I said, like when it does show like Godzilla himself like on screen, like it is cool to see. Like I said, this is probably like the best design of Godzilla ever used in film. And yeah, and when you do actually see Godzilla fight the other monsters, there's in the movie, like it is cool to watch, even though like the ending battle fight between Godzilla and the monsters in the film, like it is like during the night, so it's in the dark, and you can't really like get a clear view of some of the action between Godzilla and the other monsters. And I've been like talking about the other monsters in the film, but I haven't really said what the other monsters in the film really are. So yeah, I'll talk about that now. So yeah, in this film, like the other uh, creatures that are in the film are like these like giant insect like creatures, and yeah, they're like dubbed as massive unidentified terrestrial organisms or mutos. Well, yeah, and yeah, they're like taking out uh, the city, like they're really destroying the city, and then yeah, then after like the incident where like the main character and his father like tried to collect the research, like the creature ends up like destroying the facility, and the father gets like injured and he dies. Yeah, and then yeah, but yeah, the media tries to cover it up and report that incident as an earthquake. Yeah, and yeah, then eventually like as like the scientists and like the military really are like trying to track Godzilla down some more, or like eventually like the Muto ends up like attacking a Russian submarine, and it ends up up then like summoning up Godzilla, and Godzilla then finally did like emerge from the water, but it ended up like causing a tsunami in Honolulu. Ooh, yeah, and then yeah, Godzilla like had a brief um a face off with the Muto, but the Muto eventually ended up fleeing. And, but then yeah, then they like heard that like the scientists like deduced that like Godzilla like was listening, as it seemed like the Muto seemed to be communicating with something else, and then eventually like it was discovered over that like the Muto like seemed to be communicating with like another Muto, and it turned out that there was like a second Muto that was uh like had no wings and ended up attacking Las Vegas, and then yeah, then it was then like uh, discovered that like that other Muto was a female, and that was what the other Muto who was male was communicating with, and it was a mating call between the two of them. Yeah, and so then yeah, those other Mutos then were like attacking the city, and then like the military then was like trying to who destroy the Mutos by uh, like giving them warheads, like launching a warhead at them. But yeah, but the female Muto like ended up like devouring the warheads after intercepting them, and then they ended up like the two Mutos ended up of like taking one of the warheads heads that like the military tried to bring to San Francisco, where the monsters are were attacking, and after like Godzilla appeared at the Golden Gate Bridge, like the Mutos ended up like snatching up the warhead, and then they like placed it in like a nest around it in the Chinatown area, and then yeah, then like we finally have like the huge big battle between Godzilla and the Mutos, and yeah, it was a pretty cool battle. Even though, like I said, a lot of it was like in the dark, so we really couldn't get like a clear view of some of the action between them. But yeah, we did like get to see like Godzilla like having like the fiery breath, like launching like blue fire from his mouth. So it was cool to see that from Godzilla. Oh yeah, yeah, and as Godzilla like was just like fighting them off, like the military then like tried to disarm the warhead before it was detonated, but yeah, they couldn't like access the timer, so they ended up just moving it onto a boat to dispose of it at sea, and then eventually like Godzilla finally was able to defeat the Mutos, but yeah, then Godzilla then just like collapsed from exhaustion stuff. So then the film then just like ends with like the main character, like the main human character was like reunited with his family, and then yeah, it showed that like the following morning Godzilla Illa being like it showed him like just unconscious in like a just in just like a whole bunch of rubble, but it showed him awakening, and then he just like returned to the sea, and then he was just like dubbed king of the monsters, and yeah, the media like speculated he might be he might be a savior, yeah. And then the movie then just like ends like that with Godzilla just going back into the sea and going back underwater, and so yeah, the movie just ends like that. So like I have said, the film it is like definitely like a huge step up from the 1998 Godzilla movie, but like I have said, just this, when you are thinking of like Godzilla, uh, like a Godzilla movie, is this really what you are wanting to see? Like, you really don't want to see like all these like scientists and the military just like trying to find Godzilla and just like talking a bunch of nonsense throughout the film. You actually want to see Godzilla, and the film just really lacks Godzilla a lot in the film. Like he doesn't really really get like that much screen time until like the last 30 or 40 minutes of the movie. So yeah, so it really lacks Godzilla. We should have seen a lot more of him, but yeah, it is. And Godzilla is on screen, like it is cool to see, but just yeah, just but when you are just like watching all these human characters just like talking and really not being interesting, it really is just like it really just does leave like a sour taste in your mouth, and when you just see like how much potential this had, and it just seemed like a complete wasted opportunity. So yeah, so the film, it's not horrible, but this, there was just like so much potential for this, and they just really didn't deliver with it. So yeah, so I would probably give this film probably at around like a 2.75 stars out of 4. I mean, if you can put up with like the kind of story that this film has, like if you can put up with everybody talking to finally get to the action and see Godzilla himself, like if you do like if you can put up with like just all the build-up surrounding it, like the build-up to Godzilla, you may get more enjoyment out of this film. And if you're just like a Godzilla fan, like this may be a film you might get some more enjoyment out of. But just yeah, like I said, I just really was never that big into Godzilla, and just seeing just how much this film really does lack Godzilla, it just really I wasn't really that impressed with the film. So yeah. So, but like I said, it really just comes down to you either love it or you hate it. So I can understand and people feeling either way about the film. So yeah. So all I can really say is that like if you are a fan of Godzilla, And if you just want to see like some redemption for him, just like see him done in a much better way than he was done in 1998, you will get that in the film with this film. And yeah, and if you are like a huge fan of Godzilla, you'll probably get more enjoyment out of the film than I did. Yeah, so I guess that's really the best way to put it. All right, so yeah, so I guess that's all I really have to say about it. All right, so yeah, so I guess that's it for my review of Godzilla 2014. So I hope you guys did enjoy the film. Well, not the film. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. And then yes, and next up I will be talking about like the other movies. Like I am going to talk about the other two movies as well. Next up will be Kong Skull Island. So yeah, that's going to be coming up next. And then after that, I'll talk about the sequel to this, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and we'll see if that film does improve on this film or not. I haven't actually seen it yet. I didn't see that film in the theater either. So yeah, I'll just see what that film has in store and see whether or not it is an improvement over this film. All right, but yeah, but I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.